Hey guys, tonight we drift into the thick, honey-sweet fog of a medieval banquet, where the food is overcooked, the candles drip like time itself, and someone's pet monkey is definitely about to start a fire. You step softly onto rush-strewn floors, the air heavy with roasted meat and smoke, and find yourself just in time to see a platter of boiled pears being carried past, glistening under torchlight like ancient jewels. You probably won't survive this meal, to be honest. Between the undercooked fowl and the nobleman with plague face, it's a toss-up. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, where are you tuning in from tonight? Drop your city and local time below. I love seeing how far our sleepy little history family stretches. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You trudge past rows of low tables, catching glimpses of trenchers. Those are flat slabs of stale bread doubling as plates, soaked with meat juices and forgotten dignity. The bread won't go to waste, though. It gets tossed to the poor after the feast, cold, greasy, still blessed by proximity to nobility. Boiled pears, soft as candle wax, are placed before you. Spiced with cloves and steeped in wine, they're a dessert and a symbol. The nobility didn't just eat to live, they ate to display. The pears, imported and poached to perfection, announce that the host has money and sugar, which in the 14th century is pretty much the equivalent of a Bugatti. You bite one, gently. It's good. Too good, actually. One noblewoman across the table coughs into her ruffled sleeve. You notice she hasn't touched her pear. A knight leans in and jokes that his was boiled in sin and cinnamon, then promptly swipes another from a neighboring plate. There's a roast swan, gilded in gold leaf, eyes glassy as if surprised by its own decadence. Not a joke. They literally brushed edible gold on animals. Because if you're going to flaunt your wealth, why not make it shine, right? A harpist plays in the corner, plucking out something between a lullaby and a dirge. Nobody listens. They're too busy watching a juggler attempt to keep 3 flaming clubs in the air while a servant fans him with peacock feathers. That's not for comfort. It's so his sweat doesn't extinguish the fire. Priorities. Back at your table, a young squire tells you that nobles sometimes fasted before banquets just to eat more. That's not discipline. That's strategy. And yet, despite their waistlines expanding like overstuffed sausage casings, they still wore those tiny doublets that made breathing optional. Fashion hurts. The wine keeps flowing. No forks, just knives and greasy fingers. You dab at your mouth with something that might be a napkin or a dish rag, or maybe someone's discarded undertunic. It's fine. It smells like rose water and roasted onions. One server whispers that tonight's meat pies are filled with 6 different animals. You count pigeon, rabbit, boar, deer, chicken, and something vaguely reptilian. You don't ask. You just nod. One historical record mentions blackbird pies. Yes, real birds, sometimes alive, bursting from the crust for spectacle. Historians still argue whether those birds were meant to be eaten or just scream for entertainment. Someone drops a goblet. Nobody flinches. Another round of pears is served, this time drizzled with honey and dusted with nutmeg. Spices, like sugar, were the stuff of luxury, brought by land and sea, sometimes worth more than gold. Which is ironic, since by the 4th course your palate has no idea what's happening anymore. It's all just warmth and sugar and medieval indigestion. Your host raises a toast. You mimic the movement, raising your pewter mug, which is suspiciously heavy. You sniff. Mead. Or broth. Hard to tell. Someone jokes it's the same stuff they use to pickle eels. You laugh. Quietly. Behind you, someone throws up into a tapestry. You turn back to your pear. The hall has taken on a new energy now. Thicker, louder, wobblier. You're still seated, but your awareness starts drifting sideways with the smell of spilt mead and the jangle of someone's shoe buckle clattering to the stone. The candles have melted into squat puddles, their wax sagging like overindulged bellies, and suddenly the room hushes. Something is about to happen. A drum beat, slow, comically ominous. Then, oh no, a pig appears. You blink, but yes, a real pig, in a ruffled collar, with bells on its hooves. And is that rouge on its cheeks? Two servants escort the creature, one guiding with a ribbon leash, the other gently playing a recorder as though it helps. The pig seems largely unfazed. You, less so. Someone announces, in an overly dramatic voice, "Behold, His Porcine Eminence, Duke of Hampshire, with song." And sure enough, the pig begins to sing, or rather squeal on cue. The trick, if it can be called that, is a combination of subtle prods, well-timed food rewards, and a low pipe flute that apparently drives pigs into brief moments of dramatic expression. The crowd laughs. You nervously smile, wondering if this counts as animal cruelty or just medieval karaoke. Historians still argue whether these spectacles were considered genuine entertainment or veiled satire at courtly rituals. Or maybe people just ran out of ideas. The pig finishes. He's given an apple. Not in the mouth, thankfully. You exhale. Then a jester bounds in, bells jingling like a sack of irritated pixies. He's spinning a baton on fire and shouting rhymes about the bishop's gout. Everyone claps. He slips once and nearly takes out a roast pheasant. A noblewoman shrieks, though mostly for effect. You catch yourself chewing something. A second boiled pear? You're not even hungry anymore, just pacing yourself. Everyone around you seems caught in a giddy trance of spectacle and sugar. Your neighbor, a merchant's son with cheeks like dumplings, leans over and says, this is his third banquet this week. His left eye twitches. Then come the games. Mimic the monarch is first. Everyone has to imitate the king's laugh while stuffing grapes in their mouths. The actual monarch, if present, picks a winner. If absent, someone with a nice hat decides. Tonight, the duke with the embroidered eyebrows serves as judge. You, grape-stuffed, deliver a passable haw, 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 and somehow advance to the next round. Which is worse, the dance of the eels. Don't ask. In a corner alcove, you glimpse a robed man watching the festivities with vague horror. You learn he's a visiting scholar from Italy. He's taking notes, mostly the kind that involve muttering barbarians and sketching a diagram of the pig. Someone nearby whispers that pigs weren't the weirdest acts. There are rumors of trained geese that play chess, of actors who perform entire plays backward, of mechanical dragons that breathe real smoke, powered by bellows and the life expectancy of whatever apprentice got assigned to operate it. You're handed a flagon. You decline. It's fortified ale, which, based on prior sips, tastes like bread having an existential crisis. A troubadour takes the stage, singing a tale of forbidden love between a knight and a very persuasive cheese merchant. Everyone sighs at the twist ending. The cheese was cursed. You realize the feasts weren't just about eating. They were release valves for pressure. War, famine, plague, sometimes all three. So, when you've buried half your family in 1 year, a pig in a frilly outfit suddenly makes a lot of emotional sense. Still, one baron gets too enthusiastic and tries to duel a curtain rod. He's gently guided back to his seat by two giggling nuns. You suspect they're not real nuns. Another server drops a bowl. Someone shouts, "Sing for us again, pig!" And you realize the pig is now asleep under the main table, blissfully snoring. You envy him. You slouch in your seat, soaking it in. The laughter, the loot, the whiff of onion tarts and wax. Someone starts juggling boiled pears. Badly. You close your eyes. You're not sure how much time has passed. The hall feels warmer now, heavier somehow, like the air itself has settled in with a full stomach. Outside, the moon drapes silver across frost-stiffened trees, but in here, things are just starting to get Strange. A new platter arrives, not pears this time, but peacock, and not just cooked, reassembled. That's right. Someone took the roasted bird and stitched its vivid blue feathers back onto the meat. The beak gleams. The eyes are glass beads. It looks like it might blink. You hesitate. Someone whispers that peacocks symbolize pride, and eating them is meant to absorb their virtues. You're not sure if that works. You're also not sure if the meat is fully cooked. But you try a bite anyway. It's tough, dry, and tastes mostly like smoke and ambition. There's talk that one of the pies may be poisoned, on purpose. Not for you, hopefully. Political tensions are high, and nothing says, "Don't trust anyone," like a banqueting table lined with subtle threats and seasoned treachery. Food tasters shift nervously in the shadows, their job somewhere between bravery and occupational doom. Historians still debate how common assassination via dinner roll actually was, but even the fact that it's up for discussion tells you everything. You glance down at your pear-shaped stomach and wonder how anyone had room for both dessert and diplomacy. Now comes the night's finale. The hall dims. A stage is cleared. Performers in masks enter, some shaped like animals, others like exaggerated nobles with grotesque features. It's called a mummer's play, and it's part morality tale, part fever dream. One character is Gluttony, wearing sausages around his neck like jewelry. Another is Folly, who keeps losing his pants. The pig from earlier reappears. You're not kidding. He trots across the stage during the climax, and everyone cheers. Apparently, he's a recurring character. Some suspect he's smarter than a few of the guests. The story ends with a fake sword fight and someone yelling about turnips. You don't understand it. No one does. That's part of the fun. As the applause fades, servants begin clearing dishes, though mostly to stack them in corners and forget them. Trenchers are scraped into buckets. Bones collected for dogs. The peacock? Still staring. A knight approaches, smelling of clove and cabbage, and declares that tonight was historically moderate. You're unsure if that's a joke. Then again, he's wearing leggings that look like they were made from upholstery. You find yourself thinking back on it all. The pears, the pig, the layered weirdness of an age trying to make sense of suffering through spectacle. There's a tenderness to it, oddly enough, like people carving out joy with gold-leafed poultry and flute-playing livestock. And if that joy meant suspending disbelief for a few hours, or eating a fruit boiled in wine while a singing pig took a bow, well, so be it. One noblewoman is passed out in a bowl of stewed prunes. Another guest is slow dancing with a mop. A lute plays somewhere off-key. Someone sighs. Best Tuesday I've had in weeks. And you can't help but agree. As the candles gutter low and the echo of laughter softens into the stone walls, you shift gently in your seat, the warmth of the hall settling deep into your bones. You've made it through the feast. Boiled pears, singing pigs, and all. And now, with your belly full and your mind just foggy enough, it's time to let go. You lean back and listen to the faint rustle of rushes underfoot, the soft clink of goblets being gathered, and the creak of the wooden beams above as the night stretches on. The last embers of the fire glow like distant stars, and a gentle hush falls over the room. The pig snores faintly beneath the high table, content as ever. Out beyond the hall, the frost deepens, and moonlight pools silver across the ground. But you're safe here, wrapped in warmth and whimsy, in the soft murmur of history, half-remembered and wholly peculiar. Let your breath slow now. Let the last of the pears melt away on your tongue in memory, sweet and strange. Let the flickering images of feasts and fools and forgotten customs blur like dreams on the edge of sleep. Everything is quiet now, just the hum of the world, low and kind. And if your dreams carry you back to a hall lit by candlelight, with music in the corners and fruit that glows like gold, well, don't be surprised. That's just the past, tucking you in.